Music Lens podcast with me, Alex Allegra.
And Katie Fee. How are we feeling this week?
Hopefully good.
Hopefully good.
Hopefully we're doing
manifesting
amazing.
that we're good the week that this comes out.
Is it October already?
It is October.
It's October.
Why do you think I'm wearing spooky stuff?
I was like, I didn't know if I should wear my spooks or not.
Yeah, because we're only doing one Halloween episode this year. We're not doing the whole month of Halloween.
Yeah.
Like we did last year, but
wonder if there's like a
next episode
history of horror songs or something.
I don't know. We haven't figured it out. We just know it's gonna be Halloween.
Yeah. What should we dress up as for Halloween, guys? I know what I'm gonna be with Brayden.
See,
an ant.
Halloween's my favorite, and I love decorating and baking and all that stuff. But the one thing I don't really put much thought into is costume. And I don't know. Maybe it's just because when you spend money on like Halloween decorations, you use them every year, and costumes you tend to switch up every year. So I'm just like, what can I do that won't be a lot of money?
Yeah. I feel like we should do something fun for the podcast though, like dress up as something ourselves.
Bring out our onesies from college.
I think we've done that already though.
No?
Oh. I've also worn that giraffe onesie so many times at this point that like...
Yeah, I have an elephant and she has a giraffe onesie.
That's what we did freshman year.
From Walmart freshman year. So, yeah. And I think we wore them to the zoo.
We did.
Because we volunteered for, what's it called here?
Boo Bash. The Nash.
Boo at the zoo.
Boo at the zoo. Oh yeah. What's Boo Bash?
I don't know.
Oh, that's
Back
Disney.
home.
That's Disney's.
Oh, I thought Disney was just Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
I think there's multiple things.
Oh,
but...
yeah. Home it's called Zubu. So
yeah,
I was like trying to remember what Nashville's is.
Or maybe there's a party in Nashville. It's called Nash Boo Bash. I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
I'm sure
something
there's
is
a
called
Boo
Boo
Bash
Bash
somewhere.
Something is called Boo Bash.
I'm sure somewhere. Ooh, there is a haunted hayride in Goodlettsville called Terror Trail, and there's a billboard for it, and I was like, what's that? So I had to like look it up. It looks interesting, but I still want to do, I would rather do the zombie paintball.
I'm gonna do zombie paintball,
even though that's down in Spring Hill, which is like farther south than Franklin, Tennessee, so
it's not that bad
like,
though. I used to drive down there for a studio session.
Yeah, but if you think about that, I'm up north.
Yeah, you're really far away.
I almost said my town. It's a small town, I'm not gonna say. But yeah, I'm like closer to the Kentucky border, so that is a drive for me.
Yeah.
Because I've done CMT events down in Spring Hill. I need to get you to do you don't like haunted houses and stuff.
I don't like things coming at me and touching or almost touching me, so...
I feel like you can do the paintball one because you have a weapon and you're allowed to use it.
Yeah. I'm just a screamer. Like, I'm a big screamer. I will hit you. Like, I have almost hit people, so it's like...
I do know...
I just don't know why we want to risk these things.
We went to... one of my friends growing up, they did a haunted house in their garage every year for like a food drive thing, and I do remember making sure to put my wand in a bag and not be carrying it when I went through, because I was Hermione one year, and it was like, I'm glad I had the thought ahead of time, like, put the stabby object away so I don't accidentally just like, oh, because she's been bunched before, because she was like a photograph thing, like pop out of a photograph that you think is just a picture, and yeah, people have punched her on accidents. Yeah. But yeah, what are y'all doing for Halloween? I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's spooky season.
Anywho, what else is going on in music news?
Ian Munsick made a post yesterday that he's leaving Warner and he's going independent after 3 albums. So it seems like that's his choice. It's not like the label didn't decide to re-sign him or anything. Like, he's just choosing to go independent, which, I mean, he's 3 albums in. He has a very, not reliable, dedicated, I mean, reliable too, but dedicated fan base and everything, where I think he is at a point where he could just take it independently, depending on what his goals are, which I think is just, I mean, I don't know him, but it seems like he's been touring so much and stuff. If he wants to just kind of keep it where he's just creating the music he wants to and then getting to play live shows, and if the fans keep coming out he can keep doing that. So like,
yeah, I wonder if there's
not
like
much
some kind
need.
of push on the label side that makes him want to like go away and like keep doing his own music, like if they're trying to get him more focused on like number ones or something like that, because I feel like that's the only thing holding him back really, is like lack of huge awareness of who he is, because he is a really strong artist. He has the branding, he's
on tour with Cody Johnson right now. He was on tour with Lady, so he's still like, he's opening for big acts. He's not just doing his own shows too. Like, he has major tours that he's a part of.
Yeah, so interesting.
I played at Taco Bell with Sammy K, and I was like trying to figure out, I like Googled most well-known Ian Munsick songs because I was trying to see if there's any more well-known ones that I could do versus just like whatever I want. And I guess Long Live Cowgirls featuring Cody Johnson was number one on the highway at one point. But other than that, it's like that one. And then Long Haul was like his first single off of his first album with Warner, I guess is most popular, at least according to Google.
Because he's also not really getting nominated for any awards and anything. Is he going?
But he's still like, he plays the Opry. I've seen him on like press things with the Opry and stuff during CMA Fest. He gets to play Riverfront CMA Fest, which is the biggest free stage. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see with this shift to being independent if they're still able to use their connections to do those types of things.
That's why I wonder if it's like more of like, if they're really pushing him to like do something different with his music, and he just stood his foot down and said no, and it aligned with his contract, 3 albums, and maybe like he just said no instead of like having them say no, and they came to an understanding. Because at this point it feels like what he really needs is the like publicity part of it, which is the money, which is why you sign with a Warner and all that stuff, because everything else is really put together for him. So that's why I'm wondering if like they're just pushing him in a direction he's just not comfortable with going in, and he just doesn't want to do that, because again, he's like, there's so many times that you see artists like that have everything and there's no reason why they shouldn't, and it's just the luck of the draw. And that's really when like the luck of the industry comes into play, of like getting people to fight for you in a way that's going to outrank every other artist. So
and I mean, just because he's independent, I mean, I don't know if all his other stuff kind of goes with the label, because sometimes it's all through the label of like publicity and all that, but it could be with other companies. Even if it was with the label, he can still like have like a publicity company work with him and things like that as an independent artist. I mean, that's what I do. I don't do my own publicity for every single. Some of them I have Colleen at Anchor Publicity. So, I mean, just because you're independent doesn't mean you have to do everything yourself. As long as you have the budget for it, you can have people help you with the various things that you have to do with your music. So.
And maybe he feels like he's doing everything so much himself at this point. It's just like he's just giving money away instead of them actually doing anything for him. So
yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I think that's just like a thing with the way the industry is and everything now, that like, I mean, I'm surprised that Taylor isn't independent.
It was surprising when she went over to Universal, but I think she likes to have a team around her, and B, I don't know if, because I think we've talked about in the past of like why she didn't even just create her own label and everything, which might be what Ian's gonna do. I could see him doing something like that. Shabuzi just did that, and
like I think Kane Brown has his own label. Like a lot of artists start their own labels.
Demi Lovato has one. It's a little excessive, I think, but again, I think it's their way of like.
But it could be in the same way of like how people tell you, at least like at Belmont, they told us to have your own publishing company.
I was gonna say, it feels like it's their own way to get their own money back in a sense, while also kind of helping out the next generation a little bit, and like it puts them in like some good publicity lights and stuff. So I could see why you might want to do something like that. So maybe that's what Ian's gonna do. Maybe that's why he turned independent, so that he could do it himself. Or again, I think maybe he just is really, I could see him with his work ethic. I could really see him being the one to be doing everything to the point where he's like, why am I paying people when...
Yeah. Anything else?
Today's topic.
We'll just go into that now that we're done with the current events. So I don't even remember what prompted like the conversation when we were talking to Christian about parasocial relationships and stuff, but then you're like, we should do a episode kind of more in depth on it. So that's what we're gonna do this week.
Well, and it also was like kind of in terms of like current events that led to this was like just people's viewpoints on certain celebrity relationships at the moment.
Yeah, but that was kind of what made me think of it to bring it up again, or like remember that we wanted to do this, but I don't remember back in June what it was.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, no.
But yeah. So I just figured like I found an interesting article that kind of relates to like independent musicians with that, but then also define it, and then we have some like you said, discussions with like the relationships of celebrities and all that stuff. So just to start off with, for the definition, I got it from Psychology Today, and we'll do links for all our sources in the description if you want to read in depth, I guess. But Psychology Today says parasocial relationships, quote, refer to one-sided relationships in which a person develops a strong sense of connection, intimacy, or familiarity with someone they don't know, most often celebrities or media personalities. These relationships exist only in the mind of the individual who experiences a bond despite the lack of reciprocity? Because
reciprocity?
No, there's an R. Because reciprocated.
Yeah, I know what the root word is.
Lack of reciprocity. We'll go with it. Okay. Because likely the person doesn't know they exist. The term was coined by psychologists Donald Horton and R. Richard Wohl in 1956 when televisions became widely available. They noted that TV viewers began to develop the illusion of intimacy with the characters on the screen. Although parasocial relationships are inherently imaginary, they can feel real for the person experiencing them. An individual may see in or project onto a celebrity a range of emotions that mirror their feelings and challenges, end quote. And it also can happen with like fictional characters in literature, and then obviously music artists, because that's kind of what we're going into more because we are a music podcast. But
I feel like a lot of the times they're so much more unhealthy than they are healthy, and they can lead to serious like mental issues, like with the Christina Grimmie case and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, is one of them of that. I guess we can jump down to that of like, if people aren't familiar, Christina Grimmie, I don't remember what year this happened, but basically
it was like 2016.
Yeah, she played a show. She was doing a meet and greet after,
and she had been on the X Factor, and she was big on Disney. Sorry, it was The Voice. You're right.
And she had like I think she had a decent following on YouTube and
stuff. She
did,
yeah. So. She was a big YouTuber. But I was at the show like right before this happened because she was really close with one of the bands that I was really following at the time. Before You Exit, me and my friend like used to go to that, and they were like super close with them.
Wasn't it? Now I gotta look it up. I know I looked up when I was researching.
But they had, like,
she was it said performed with the band Before You Exit.
Yeah. No, they had like just like they were about like I think I couldn't remember if that was the tour that I was on or not, but I knew like that's how they were like, yeah, it was a big deal because I was like such a part of that following for the Before You Exit band. So it was just like really weird, and
it was 2016.
Yeah, that's how I knew it was.
But basically like she was just doing a meet and greet at the end of her concert, and this
in Florida.
In Florida, yes. And this fan had brought a gun to the show and shot her. So
because she had just posted that she had a boyfriend, and he had for years been writing letters and all this stuff, and was like very much in belief that he was her boyfriend, and she did not know who this gentleman was, and so he had a big issue with the fact that she was posting with this guy.
Right. So very major example of the unhealthiness that can be parasocial relationships. And so the article that I found, it's an article on A&R Factory written by Amelia Vandergast, and it's called The Rise of the Stan, Do Parasocial Relationships Help Her Hinder Independent Musicians? So kind of like looking more at it from the aspect of like a musician that's like trying to gain a following and all that. I basically copied a bunch of the paragraphs, but I cut some out just because time and stuff. So try to keep it relevant. In the realm of parasocial relationships, the boundaries between reality and fiction often blur. Fans might follow every detail of a celebrity's life or feel deep emotional connections with a character from a novel or film. This phenomenon has been amplified in the digital age, where social media platforms create an illusion of intimacy and accessibility with public figures. Followers are privy to daily updates, personal thoughts, and behind-the-scenes glimpses, fostering a sense of closeness that might feel akin to a real friendship. While parasocial relationships can provide comfort and a sense of belonging, they also raise questions about the nature of celebrity culture and the impact of media consumption on our understanding of real-world relationships. In a world increasingly mediated by screens, discerning between genuine social connections and one-sided parasocial interactions becomes both a philosophical and psychological challenge, echoing the complexities of human emotion and connection in the modern age.
Well, and you know what I think is interesting is that we know that these things happen and we know how dangerous they are, but yet things used to be so curated and so like PR spun and marketing built, and like now with social media all that stuff's going away, and it seems like we've kind of forgotten how like kind of dangerous this is with social media, that like now even more so we're expected to be such like one-on-one, sit down, screen to screen, as if we're FaceTiming somebody almost, and like giving them an insight into our world. And that's what you have to do. Like that's how bonds and that's how fans are created, is more through that like genuine connection of you being a person instead of an artist. That is your artistry, is how well of a person can you be, like in a certain sense of like somebody wanting to follow you as a person, you know, like how personable can you be.
Which is part of this, but the part before that is like the rise of the stan. So in the ever-evolving lexicon of the music industry, the term stan is a blend of stalker and fan, which I honestly...
Did you know where stan comes from?
I've heard it, and I'm like, okay, it's like just a big fan kind of thing, but I never actually knew what it was like.
I've always heard it as super fan. That's what stan stood for. But it came from the Eminem song, Stan. That's where the term originated. I did know that.
Merged to describe new breed of superfan, coined from Eminem's 2000 song of the same name. A stan epitomizes an intense, often obsessive adoration for a particular musician or band. These fans don't just appreciate the music, they form a deep, one-sided bond with the artist, sometimes blurring the lines between admiration and obsession, and taking their parasocial relationships one step beyond. So the challenge for emerging artists is that this intense fandom culture poses a unique challenge for up-and-coming musicians in a landscape where stans dedicate their time, energy, and resources to establish artists. Emerging talents often struggle to capture the attention of potential fans. The music industry, known for its competitiveness, becomes even more daunting when fans are preoccupied with their parasocial relationships. These fans, deeply invested in the lives and careers of their favorite artists, may overlook the rich tapestry of new music blossoming around them. This tunnel vision can stifle the growth of emerging artists who lack the fan base and resources to compete for attention. And then the last part is the pressure to please that you were talking about. For musicians, particularly independent artists, the rise of the stan culture brings added pressure to maintain a certain persona and continuously engage with their fan base. The expectation to create personal content and invite fans into their private world can be overwhelming. This constant demand for accessibility and intimacy can exacerbate mental health strains as artists grapple with the need to balance their personal lives with the expectations of their fans. The pressure to keep stans engaged can lead to burnout and anxiety as artists feel compelled to sustain the parasocial relationship that their fans have come to expect. So, it doesn't have to be a bad thing for, like, from the fan perspective, it doesn't have to be a bad thing to have these parasocial relationships with artists, but, like, recognize that they don't know you.
And that's hard. As somebody who is, like, a fan of somebody, it's really hard to, like, because I think of it in the sense of, like, it's really awkward going into, like, the meet and greet aspect of it. I always think of it in this terms because I'm like, I never know how to, like, ask them questions because I'm like, I know so much about them and, like, they have to introduce, it's like Taylor Swift saying, hi, I'm Taylor. It's like no, like, duh. No. But it's like, also, what else are you gonna say? Like, that's how I would introduce myself too, because it's just like, I think it takes down that pressure of like, oh duh, she knows that you know who she is. Like, and it makes them human for 5 seconds and like, okay. But it's just, it's so...
And also, like, I'm thinking of like a smaller scale, but like when we met Jerry and Sierra for Ladies and Tangents, like, we knew that Jerry was getting divorced at the time, but it's like, you want to say something of like, how are you? Because you know that she's going through it and like they hadn't shared it publicly yet. It was like the Patreon knew and that's it. But she doesn't know you. So it's like it's parasocial in the sense of like, she shared that information, but like she doesn't like know each individual person that she shared it with on Patreon, obviously. So it's like kind of, it seems like it would be weird on her side for someone to come up to her and ask about it.
It's even been weird with us for the podcast. I've had some friends like text me that I don't talk to regularly, but then they're like, I feel like I know everything that's going on in your life because I've listened to the podcast and you keep me updated that way. But so then they're like, I don't know what to ask you because I feel like I've heard what's going on in your life. And I'm like, yeah, you do, so I don't know what else to tell you. So I get it. It's a little weird. It's a little intimidating, and that's where when I said about it early on, I said like there's like that wall because it's like, I think that's where it starts to form with like this weird internet stardom perspective. And I think I always look forward to when I like did quote unquote make it and like got signed, then I don't have to put so much of my personal self out there because it's like awkward for me. And I think especially now, and we got onto this more because we were talking about Kelsey Ballerini and Tree Stokes and their potential maybe breakup, and I'm always like, just let the people announce when they're like, when they want to announce and confirm everything. I hate the like which is the whole point of those gossip tabs and all that stuff anyways.
Just because,
but it always has annoyed me.
Said something, but it's like they didn't act like, you could just say that without actually having a Kelsey rep say something to you.
It's
if you
like,
want to really just post stuff just to post.
So annoying to me, all that kind of stuff. And then I had a point, but anyways, but like I just feel like when you get to a certain like level, like you don't have to share every intimate detail. It's like Sabrina never explicitly said that like her and Barry had broke up and like all this stuff, but you know, you kind of it's like you want to be invested when you get to a certain point and all that stuff, and that's why Easter eggs are fun with Taylor and all of that kind of stuff. But it's also just like there's only so much that like I really want to know without like going too much into her personal life, but also like it's that point of relatability. If you can see somebody else who has this big spotlight, like even from like the simple like knowing that they used to have acne all the time and like making you feel like comforted that like you're not the only person out there. So it is tough, I get that, and you know that's why you need therapy on your own, but to work through all these
I think
things.
Like I don't know, a good example or whatever of like healthy versus unhealthy, because obviously we're saying it's not always a bad thing. I think it's totally acceptable and fine that like so many people are excited for Taylor and Travis, and it's like people are like freaking out like, oh my god, they're engaged, because like Taylor's been basically sharing her diaries through song for 20 years with us of how she's wanted to find a love and get her happy ending, and now she's getting her happy ending, and it's super happy, like exciting, and everyone jokes like, oh, my best friend Taylor got engaged. And I think everyone who's saying like, oh, my best friend Taylor got engaged, it's like they are joking because they realize like she doesn't know who I am. Like
I will say, even meeting her in the meet and greet, so she acts like she does definitely like play into the bestie aspect of it. She obviously, I don't think she cares for the stalker aspect of it, but she definitely likes the bestie aspect of it, even if that is purely like marketing and all that stuff. But like she definitely plays into the whole bestie situation of it all. So
like, but that's like healthy as long as you're realizing that she doesn't actually know you and stuff. But what's harmful is like the stalking of like she's had issues with her. Is it just the main house? I'm sure there's probably been issues at other houses of like people trying to break in or like.
Did you mean Rhode Island house?
Rhode Island.
Did you mean like her main quote unquote house?
Oh, I misspoke.
Okay.
The state. The one in that area of the country. But what's not good is the stalking with that, and then like Jack Antonoff's wedding got crashed by Swifties because they like found out Taylor was there, and it's like, it's her best friend's wedding. Let's not do that right now. Yeah. She's not on, she's not working, like she's trying to like be there for her friend, and now all of a sudden it's like a safety thing for everybody there because people are flocking there just to catch a glimpse of her.
Well, it's because they want to have their viral moment with it. They want to be like, oh my god, look, I met Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, I think some of it because, I mean, I remember even doing stuff like that way back in like elementary school. Like my friends used to lie about, oh my god, I caught this scarf from Hannah Montana on stage, or oh, I got this guitar, or oh my god, Joe Jonas looked at me at the concert, he's definitely in love with me now at like 11. You know, I think it's always kind of been ingrained in us because we grew up in an era where all this was so exciting and new, and it kind of I think that's why it's been easy to adapt on like the social media side of it, and why like, but we do really have to think of how this is going to impact long term, I think. So
right, yeah. And yeah, also Chapel, we've talked about when that happened last year of like setting those boundaries, and she's like, I don't know you, you don't know me, this is weird, like to just randomly walk up and be like talking to you in the street when she's not working kind of thing.
Well, and I think even like
things from her,
all of us, I mean, even back in the day, like in middle school and stuff like that, we always used to like think it, and I think it's because we know who we are and we see X, Y, and Z of this person, and we think that we know them, and so in our heads we're like, oh my god, we have so much in common, we definitely be best friends, instead of like jumping to the like, or like, oh my god, I definitely have so much in common with Nick Jonas, I definitely should have married him, like, you know, like that's where but then it starts to get unhealthy if you don't recognize the fact that A, they really don't know you, and B, like that even if you were to meet them, like you can't just jump, hop, skip, and a leap to the fact that like
that you have stuff in common.
That you have stuff exactly. But that was always why it was difficult to me. I was like, I never wanted to meet my celebrity. Like, as much as I wanted to meet my celebrity crush, I was always just like, I don't know how it would actually go, because like, what do I actually say? Like, I know all this stuff about you,
right?
And I think in my head we'd be so. It's, you know, it's like.
I guess the only other thing I had of like discussion was the Chelsea and Chase thing.
Chelsea. I was like, who's
Chelsea and Chase? Kelsey and Chase of like everyone's like, oh, they broke up. I was like, they haven't posted about it.
I don't believe stuff until somebody posts about it.
And then I guess Kelsey did a Instagram post or something where he was in it or tagged or something, just to kind of like address it without outright addressing it. And someone commented about how like everyone should just like not believe everything they read, and also it's none of our business and all that stuff. And she replied, T.
And then the other thing was
kind of just agreeing with people without getting too far into it kind of thing.
Oh gosh, I had 2 points.
But everyone was like talking on like TikTok about it, and it's like, oh, I'm so sad they broke up. Imagine like the person that you write to the men who love women after heartbreak about, and then you break up. And
so
all that
there
stuff.
was 2 things.
Like,
with that.
It's not confirmed. Also, just calm down.
Everyone was like, I heard one TikToker was like, I love that everyone's like, no, you didn't break up, and like it's your decision on what these two people should be doing. Yeah. And I was like, exactly, like it's so like ridiculous that we think we have an input on that. Well, what do you guys think about parasocial relationships? Have you run into any like weird your own things, maybe anonymously? Tell us, or like send us an email and we'll like say it on the pod, but we won't use your name if you would like. And just kind of your own take on things at the musiclenspodcast@gmail.com.
I guess that's the best way if it's gonna be anonymous.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you have any thoughts that you're comfortable sharing publicly, you can comment them on our YouTube or our Spotify of this episode. I don't know if the others have it. I know Spotify does. But you can for sure also comment on our socials at the Music Lens Podcast and follow us there for keeping up with us, our episodes, other helpful tips and news, things that we post. And you can follow Alex at Alex Allegro Music on all the things, and follow me at Katie Fee Music on all the things. And we will see you next time. Bye!